I watched Demon House. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. At first I thought it was going to be something like Paranormal Activity, found footage, very scary. This was different, more of a documentary. It's an investigation. So there's a real house in the States. Typical family moves in, strange stuff starts happening. What makes this case different is different people, Child Protective Services, the police, people would come who are from reputable organizations. They would come and investigate, and weird things would either happen to them or they would witness these strange things and corroborate the family who was saying this is a haunted house. And they wrote it up in official reports. These got released. So it gives an interesting take that I don't think this documentary is going to convince. People are very skeptical. But if you're kind of on the offense, some things in this documentary, I'll get to them later, you're going to look at it and say, that's kind of spooky. So I found this documentary very interesting, it's fascinating, and very entertaining. I had a lot of fun. I think this would be great to watch with a group of friends, get everyone together. It's very, I'd say, well put together. There's a lot of different elements that they combine. They include news footage of the house. They include newspaper clippings. They include text messages at one point. So they put a bunch of different elements. They have some dramatic reenactments, but this gets to the point where I found it very entertaining. The dramatic reenactments, they're very funny, they're very engaging, but they're not scary. And I didn't find this to be a scary movie whatsoever. I found the tone of it very goofy, very funny. I don't know if this was intentional or not. And the guy who's investigating, the narrator, he has his own show. I haven't seen his show, but I just found the way he talked, his accent, the way he said things very seriously, the way he used slang. I knew some serious shit was about to go down. Just the way he was talking, it was very, very funny and goofy to me. So if you're looking for something that's going to be very interesting or something that's going to be very entertaining, I think this is great. If you're looking for something to scare you, I think you're going to want to look elsewhere. And I appreciate the effort putting in, seeing the actual reports with certain parts of the report redacted out, other parts highlighted. Very interesting. Hearing the actual audio footage of an exorcism that was done, it just gave the documentary this kind of realism that this was really happening. Even when they're investigating the house and they have the cameras going, they catch this strange black image on their camera. And if they just said, oh, we found this black image, and they showed it quickly, you could say, well, it could be a shadow, it could be this or that. But no, they show you the image, they slow it down, show you frame by frame, and then they go into this computer analysis program and they spend probably a good 5 minutes analyzing this image and saying, well, no, it's not a shadow for this, and this reason. So they put some effort into it, and I appreciated it. And there's a lot of different things that they assemble, and it's hard to explain it all away. So one of the camera people, they get some very strange footage of him behaving very oddly, hard to explain, even explain that away by acting. It would be hard for someone, they would have to be a really talented actor to act that way on footage, but you could say he's acting fine. But he leaves the project and gets 666 tattooed all over his hands. No, it's hard to explain that. You could say, well, they're lying. He didn't really get the tattoos, it's fake. Again, this is a well-known guy, he has his own show. That's really, I'd be surprised if that was the explanation. I guess the explanation would be when either there's self-selection, so anybody who's going to be crazy enough to sign up to be a camera person investigating this haunted house, you could say they're a little off, and that's the kind of person who would get something weird tattooed on their hands. Or you could say it was selection by the person who's directing the documentary, that he had a bunch of candidates and he tried to pick out the people who he knew were susceptible to suggestion, and he hoped that if he picked enough people who were susceptible to suggestion, one of those people, after being suggested that this is a haunted house, would act out in these strange ways. But either way, it's hard to explain away someone tattooing their hand with a satanic symbol. And all these different people that were in some way associated with this house, one of them gets organ failure, really serious medical problems. Another has this string of strange accidents. They're actually in the house and they get the reader going. And the director, you see on camera, he has some kind of strange spasm. That again, he could all be acting, but at the very moment he has that strange spasm, you see the reader spike. And it's just all these different things that, whether you're convinced at the end of it by not, at the very least, it's a very entertaining, very interesting to at least see all these different people and the different kind of people that believe it, how they try to disprove it, how they try to prove it. And it's just probably going to be one of those things where people are always going to debate. I don't think it's ever going to be solved. I think there's always going to be a large segment of people who believe in the paranormal and believe it adamantly and believe it to their core. And there's always going to be the skeptics, and no matter what evidence, no one's ever going to... I'd love if someone would come up with evidence that would forever prove it one way or the other, but I don't think it'll ever happen. Essentially tattooed 666 off.
Fucking thing sucks!